stop it. I know you want to go look at those new builds and look at those beautiful models, but you need to take some time and just absorb some of this information I'm going to give you today. Now, maybe you already went to the new builds with like a fake identity and you registered with the false name. That's cool, but just let's not go anymore. Don't go risking it again. Okay. So a little bit about me. I'm Javier Vidana. I run this channel. I've helped hundreds of thousands of people buy houses all over the country. But me personally, I've helped at least over hundreds of people buy their first home here in the Phoenix, Arizona area. And a big percentage of those were new builds. So whether it's a pre-COVID market, post-COVID market, I've got some tactics that can help you win with new builds, or at least give you an idea of what to expect if you're going to go walk in there. So let's get to it. And if you have any questions, leave the comments below. I'll make sure to monitor them and ask them, or maybe someone in the community might answer it for you. So let's go over some initial assumptions, just some things that are just going to be like givens here. Okay. By the way, I will make this available as a PDF after the video. So I'll have somewhere in the description. If you want a copy of this paper, I'm happy to give you one. So anywho, let's go over assumptions, things that are going to happen for sure that you should just assume if you're going to go with a new build. The first one is you're going to overpay. You're not buying a new build to save money, or you're not buying a new build because you're trying to get a good quote unquote deal. Yes, there's a way to get a deal, but when it comes to real estate, you're going to be overpaying. Okay. Here's why. New builds work off a kind of like a staircase valuation model, right? So their initial first batch, like their first few streets or, phases or whatever they want to call it. Let's say, they'll build a bunch of houses and they'll range between, I don't know, $300 to $500, right? So the thing is they're creating their appraisals, because anytime they sell a house, the lender that they have, or themselves usually being the lender, will use houses around the neighborhood to comp it. So what's going to happen is when they initially, let's say there's like a little block of houses here. Okay. This is a street. And when they build their first phase, let's say this is the first phase here, they're going to trust the neighborhoods around it to support those valuations, right? So they're going to, list it, let's say 300, let's just say one general house. They're going to list it for 300,000 because these houses around the block are selling for 300,000, right? Give or take a rate right in there. Now, as they're continuing to build and having people go there and upgrade their house, they're going to keep pushing the value more and more. So now the next phase, since they've already created their appraisals to use, they might push the value slightly higher. So now the next phase, they're going to be selling them for 400. Maybe not that. No, they're not that drastic. Probably like 320 to like 520 around there, right? So you're going to start seeing houses go more expensive, and then they're going to finish that phase. And now when they build this phase, they're not using this outside neighborhood. They're not using these guys to comp. They're using these guys to comp, right? The houses they just got done being built. So they're using their own comps, and they're creating their own comps to continue increasing the value over and over and over again. And eventually this continues until the final phase when they're almost done. You're going to see them like $400,000. That's why it's never really a good idea to purchase near the end of a phase, unless you just really don't care, because usually it's like a catch-22. You're going to be overpaying value-wise, but they usually throw in a lot of incentives towards the very end. You're going to see them really extend the price, because now at this point, they're using these valuations as their appraisals. They're like creating their own system to continue to build the value. And guess what? After all that being said and done, when the neighborhood is being built, this disappears. That new build community is now just part of the community. And guess what? These houses around, maybe after they're being done, are only selling for like, I don't know, 320 or 330. They haven't really gone that much higher, but you just purchased your house here for 400. So you're going to overpay unless you're like right at the beginning, which is really scary because usually there's like nothing developed in the neighborhood. And, unless you get really early in, you're probably overpaying value-wise for the area. And this is an assumption that you just should assume, and you're going to be okay with it. The second big assumption is that you are buying new, not perfect, okay? Don't get it in your pretty little head that, I don't have to worry about repairs. I don't have to worry about anything. New builders have a huge issue with quality control. And, a lot of people ask me, well, Javier, which are the best builders to focus on? that's not the right approach you should have. Really, it's who's in charge of that neighborhood, who's the superintendent, how long has that superintendent been on the site for, and they've been working for, and in general, how many houses have they been responsible for. If you're going to a new build and the superintendent's like brand new, and their trades are like they keep swapping trades every few months because they can't seem to find the right trades, then odds are you're probably going to be getting a buy house. Now, it's going to be hard to figure out from the get-go asking these questions and just getting a feel for their quality and their system and whatnot. But that's kind of where, having someone that's done this before really helps to kind of guide you and make sure that, if it feels wrong, it's probably not the best option for you. So you're buying new, and there's some advantages to buying new, which we'll definitely talk about, but it's not going to be perfect. You probably will have issues with the house still. Yes, there's warranties in place and systems that you can call and verify, and they're going to talk to you all about all that. But don't expect to be buying a perfect product. As a matter of fact, don't expect you're going to get an imperfect product, and really be on your toes when you're in the process. And the last assumption that you really need to keep and consider is the builder team is not working for you. The builder team is working for the builder. So let's say the normal experience would be as follows. Okay. So, you're driving around. Here you are all happy, ready to go look at a house. You go look at a model home, and the model home will have our sales representative. And you might fall in love with that sales representative, like, oh my gosh, that person is so awesome. They really are taking care of my needs. And then, or maybe not fall in love, but you love the experience so far. Then when you agree to buy a house, like a house already building, or you're building from the ground up, they connect you with their construction team, which is right here. And they're going to be super nice and happy. And they're, oh, we're going to take care of you, da 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 da, boom, boom. But listen, they're going to make this as nice of a process for you. But at the end of the day, these people all report to someone else. And eventually at the very top of that pyramid is some kind of corporation. Let's just say Lennar Corporation or Pulte Corporation or, whatever name builder corporation. And they're the ones that are running the show. You are completely on your own. Everyone is there to kind of sell you the house. And you need to have that attitude throughout the process. You're completely on your own. No one is looking out for you. You need to make sure that you either have the representation that will represent you the best, or just be on the defensive every single time. And yes, it's going to be stressful. Javier, I want to go with the new build because I don't want to stress. Nah, then don't buy a house. If you're looking for a stress-free experience, don't buy a house, okay? You have to be on your toes, because it sucks to have to, A, you're overpaying for a house. B, it's going to have its issues. It's not going to be perfect. And on top of that, if you had what if you could have done a better job with the quality control? What if you could have done a better job calling people out during the process? It would have probably set you up for a little better, and you wouldn't have to, deal with most of the stuff you're dealing with. So these are the assumptions. Without a doubt, these three things should be in the top of your head before you have an interaction with any new builder, before you go walk into a model home, before you call the builder's lender. You need to remember these three things. I'm going to overpay, and I'm okay with it. I'm buying new, not perfect, and I'm okay with it. And the builder team does not represent me. They represent the builder, the corporation, and I'm okay with it. Ultimately, I am saying a lot of negative here, but the positive result is you get something newer that isn't in best shape, but it's newer and it's yours and no one's ever lived in it. And ultimately, you might be lucky and that neighborhood might end up really blowing up into something great. There's a lot of positives here. I don't need to tell you positives. If you're buying a home, you probably are already telling yourself the positives of the situation. So me as a YouTuber or a real estate professional, if I'm throwing positive things at you, then I'm selling you. I'm not here to sell you today. I'm here to educate you. Okay. So here we go. Let's get the ball rolling. So now that we have those assumptions out of the way, and these are the things that are for sure going to happen, let's go over just what the game plan looks like, right? So I say if you were a client, and before we do this via Zoom or in person, this is the game plan that you should set up for yourself before you go look at anything. First and foremost, step one is, this is a little tough one because you still need to think about your budget. You still need to think about all that stuff. So take some time to figure out, if you're doing this, what price range you want to be under. So to figure out your price range, you got to figure out what monthly payment you're looking for. And let's say you want to be under, $3,000 a month. Okay. Now you can use online calculators to help you figure out, but keep in mind, a lot of these online calculators are going to be using like the market rates and whatnot. Here's the good thing about builders. Okay. is if you go with the inventory houses, the houses that are already being done built, which we'll talk about right now, you need to make sure to account for a lower interest rate when you're calculating this monthly payment. So a $3,000 monthly payment might be a basic $450,000 resale, but might also be a $520,000 inventory new build because the interest rate will be cheaper. Now, I would like to say that just because the interest rate's cheaper doesn't mean you should push your value. You should still buy the $450,000 home, but now you're going to have a better monthly payment, right? Now it's $2,600 and you're able to save more and set yourself up for success more. But I just say a lot of things and no one listens to me. So you're probably going to stretch your budget more. Don't lie to me. Yeah, you are, huh? I know. So anyways, once we figured out that price range, the second step is going to be, what's going to be the strategy here? Okay. Are we going with a build from the ground up? So a build, or are we going with an inventory home? There is a market for both. Build might be for those people who are like, I want to customize my home to be exactly what I want. There's a specific, I have a client who wanted a glass door, like a glass door that corner, right? None of the inventory houses had that. But he had in his head, I need the glass door corner. I need the glass door corner. I don't care. I want it. There's no inventory houses that had it, so he had to build from the ground up, right? Maybe you are, this might be a forever home for you, and you need to be very particular with the bedrooms, because a lot of times, like extra bedrooms and whatnot are only specific and tailored to if you choose that as an option. So if you're looking for a more tailor-made experience, there's definitely an advantage to go with the build. The negative is you're not going to be able to lock in a low rate. You're going to kind of roll the dice, and let's say it takes 6 to 9 months to build. Well, that's probably another negative, isn't it? Take 6 to 9 months to build, which could also be a positive because you might have to sell a house first or do other things. So anyways, who knows what's going to happen to the rates going up and down, up and down. They're probably going to give you just like a closing cost amount. They'll say, we'll give you 3%, we'll give you 6% of the price to help you with closing costs or buy your rate down and whatnot. So they're going to give you all these things, but it's not as attractive as what the inventory houses offer. The inventory option, I think, is a lot more cost effective. You're definitely not getting, it's literally opposite. You're not getting a customized experience. You're literally buying someone else's build. But if you think about it, aren't resales just somebody else's build as well? So you're really buying a resale from a builder because you're not have no say in the picks and the options. I mean, yeah, there's some builders that'll let you choose and change things, but normally they don't. So you don't get the customization. So you have to find exactly something that works for you. But the huge advantage of this is these are the houses that give massive incentives. So let me tell you the difference between like a new build giving you 6% off to use for whatever you want after price versus this one that might say we'll give you a 4% interest rate and then we'll pay your closing costs. Let's say it's $7,000. Okay. So let's say you're buying a $400,000 house. $6,000 of that is what? $24K. Okay. You use 12 or 15K to pay off your closing costs. So you're left with the remaining 2-3% to buy down your rate. With 2 or 3%, let's say rates are right now are like 6.8, 7%. You might be able to buy down if you're FHA to like a mid 6 or maybe a high 5. Conventional, probably low 6s, right? So you're dropping down maybe a point and a half if you're extremely lucky. So you're not really getting a massive incentive. To get to that 4%, it's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a tremendous amount of money than that 3%. So whatever the builder did with the builder's lender they say they pre-buy these rates in the quarter, whatever the case is, that 4% is not 3%. It's not $12,000 worth of value. This is probably like closer to 20 to 30K to get that the value to get the rate that cheap. And 4% on a mortgage, you probably never have to refinance. It's going to be a really sweet position to put you in. Really run the amortization schedules on this. You're going to pay, we're at 7%. You're paying for a $400,000 house. After 30 years, you'll pay $1 million, $600,000 of interest, $400,000 in the price. 4%, it's going to be like maybe closer to 500 or 600K. You're paying like half, so 400,000 for the house, 200, 300 for the interest. It's a massive, massive savings. And yeah, the closing costs probably won't cover all of it. You will have to come up with a little bit, but there's some builders out there that'll pay for all these completely upfront. So it might be a little bit more expensive to go this route, but the inventory home will set you up with a lower rate. You're not going to get any of the creativity or any of the picks. You're kind of at mercy to whatever is available that they have. But you have to figure out what your strategy is. Are you going with the build or are you going with an inventory? And you need to know this beforehand, because if you go in there and, you know, well, I'll tell you right now. Let me get to it. Let's not get ahead of yourself, Javier. Okay. So you got your price range, you have your budget, you have your strategy, build, or inventory. This is where you're going to have a question. Am I going to hire an agent to help me? Let's be honest here. And let's try not to be so biased. I am an agent. Yes. Oh, brother, he's going to say hire an agent. Here's how you should look at hiring an agent. Okay. A builder, let's say, once again, we're going to use 400,000 because that's just the number in my head. I had somebody call me the other day on Zillow. They didn't know who I was. It was just someone who I answered the phone. And I mentioned on because I made a video for the people that call me on Zillow just to follow up. Hey, you know, just wanted to introduce you to who I am. And I said, oh, you know, whether you're buying $300,000 to $1 million, I'm here to help you, whatever. And well, she was buying a $250,000 townhouse or condo. And she was like, well, I don't want to work with you because you said that, you know, my price range might be a little too low for you. I'm like, dude, chill. So I'm sorry if this number offends you. It's just a number that's in my head right now. Okay. I don't mean any offense to anybody whatsoever. So they say they're building a $400,000 new build. Okay. In the new build, they are accounting for a lot of things. Obviously their profit, paying off their people. And more importantly, they have already accounted for in the price compensation for agents. Normally it's about, this is just off my example. Builders usually give about 3% of the base price, not like the price after upgrade. So it's like the base price might be like closer to $370K or something. Base price is what it was if you're bare bones, but normally for inventory houses, they like add more stuff on top of it. So they comp 3%. Now, rarely I've heard this where a builder will, if you go without an agent, they'll give you that. I've actually never heard that. I've heard it where they might discount your price a little bit, but I haven't heard, probably in 3 or 4 years, I've never heard that since. I've heard it like once or twice early in the early days. So that's built in there. So there's $12,000 right there. They've already counted for that $12K to be there, right? So if you go with an agent, they are getting compensated that amount. If you go without an agent, where does this money go? It goes to the corporation, baby. The salespeople don't get a bonus. The construction people don't get a bonus. That's just extra profit in the builder's hand. So when you're thinking about hiring an agent with your new build, yes, having an extra pair of eyes is so helpful. Yes, having someone who knows the area and knows if you're looking for a certain price range, what builders will have that is very valuable. But honestly, once we're under contract, we're not that useful. It's the builder's contract. It's the builder's timeline. It's the builder's rules. We're kind of just there to just, in case crap hits the fan, which it rarely does. I think I've had once or twice happen where like an appraisal came in low and it was a weird situation where we had to negotiate back and forth with the builder, which by the way, I found out that person sold their house without me a few months ago. So hello. Thanks. I guess you didn't appreciate my negotiation. I know I'm a little salty. So $12,000 that goes to the agent, and some people get pissed off by that. What the hell? You get $12,000 for doing nothing? I get it. Okay, but the way you look at it is you're gonna have an agent on retainer to just be an extra pair of eyes, be there, and guys, kickbacks aren't allowed. So you can ask your agent, can you give me some of that money? Technically, if they do, it's not allowed. Right. Maybe they'll get you a nice gift or something, but they cannot give you money because to retain their services. So the way you should look at it is you're retaining an agent on the builder's dime to have someone there represent you. Because remember, you're all on your own. Well, where did I write that? I wrote that up here. You're all on your own. So if you have an agent there with you, then you got someone having your back. And you might not need it, but would you rather have the money go to the builder or would you just go to someone you like? I've had people literally, Javier, I just like you. I've bought a house before. Come over, come with me. The agent has to be there the first time you go look at that model. But I mean, that's it. So hire an agent that has experience with new builds that can tell you, okay, like if I talk to someone and they're looking, I don't know, $450,000, West Valley, bada boom boom. Okay, I know the free builders because we get emails all the time from builders. I take people out all the time. I got a few people I can take you to. Let's go. Oh, wow. My wife just told me we've been, she has been planting. She got this from her mom. It's like a desert plant and it's like blooming so big. Wow. And at nighttime, it like shrivels up. It's so cool. Anyways, so if you're going to hire an agent, do it now. If you're going to do this on your own and you're just like, I don't want to give that. I want to keep that money or whatever. It's your prerogative, but now's the time to do it here. They can probably help with this by figuring out what builders to go hit. Now, what you do is I'm going to assume you're going to use an agent. So sorry, if you're not using an agent, then just pretend you have an imaginary agent. You and your agent will make a list of builders. We have tools where we can connect to the MLS and we can figure out which builders will have what, but literally make an itemized list of the builders that you're interested in. A lot of the builders' websites are actually pretty good. You can also, if you don't want to use an agent or your agent doesn't have access to send you this, go to Google Maps and look up builders, right? So builders on G Maps, and then find their website and find the models that you like. And you might see inventory houses, you might see lots, and basically make an Excel sheet of that. Okay. So like you're going to narrow it down to, maybe 3 to 5 builders that really have what you're looking for in your price range for the type of strategy that you're looking for, right? So you've already done the work. You're going to hire it, you're going to figure it out, and you're going to know exactly what you're looking for. So like builder 1, you know that they have the blue on a with a random Dr. Pepper model that has the bedrooms you like and it has inventory. So for sale for $380, blah, blah, blah. So then you know that you like that model. Great. You have the list, you know the models you like, and then it's game day, baby. Don't do game day until you are ready to go. Maybe you want to look at a few models. That's fine. Go do that. And if you have your agent go with you. But game day is when you're like, let's go hit them up. And this is my philosophy when I do game day. I go, 1, quick tips. Never take the water bottle, H2O bottle. Don't take it. They're priming, little sales tips for you. They're priming, yes. You want a water bottle? Yes. This is a lovely day we're having, right? Yes. And I know it seems so cheesy and like whatever. And I don't fall for that crap. Even if there's a slight chance you will, just don't do it. Say no to this is the baller move to do. Please, and when you do this, I want you to take a picture of it and tag me on Instagram or send it to my DMs or whatever. Say no to the water bottle, and when you're sitting down or after you're done look at the model, go and take the water bottle from the fridge. Usually, this is a pro tip, the water bottles are usually in either the first model's fridge or they're just going to be like near a small fridge in the front area. Say no. After you chat with them for a bit, whatever, go grab the water bottle. Like, yeah, I took the water bottle, but I took it on my terms. I know the little crap like that is like, why was the point of that? It's like little mind games that helps. I personally, when I'm working with a client, we go in and I set the scene. The script I use, hey, we were looking online. We saw you have this model and this model. Is it still available? So first thing you find out is available. They might say, I put available. Available. Don't worry if they say, we have other people looking at it or whatever. Like that, just comment whatever. Available. What are the current incentives for it? 2, can we go look at the actual house? Because they're going to want to show you the model, which is nice. But if you're looking at inventory houses, go look at the actual one. Or maybe if you're looking at pre-builds or whatever, or built from the ground up, have them go look at one that's already being built. They already probably have like the dozen of them that are built and they're just no one's moved in. Go look at the finished product. Don't look at what they're trying to sell you. Okay. Available, incentives. Can we go look at the actual product? And if you're like off the bat, if they answer, no, it's not available anymore. Okay, we'll see you next time. Do you have anything else that's similar to that price range? Oh, no, sorry. Okay, see ya. Go to the next builder. Available? Yes. Incentives? Write it down. Great. Can we go look at the actual one? Yes, no? Okay, great. Go look at it. Thank you so much. We're going to make a decision by tomorrow. Give me your business card. Have a good one. We're not going to talk to a lender. They're going to ask you, well, how long have you been looking for a house for? Oh, it's so cute. It's so hot out there. Blah, blah, blah. No, we're here where it's game day for us. We're not going to go and be your buddy, be your friend, be your pal or anything like that. We're going to go look. By the end of the day, you're going to have 1 or 2 that you like. The good news is now you don't have to go back with your realtor if you're just like making up your mind. If you're put in a position where they're pushing you to do something, you don't have to do it. You might, even if you lose a house, it's okay. They'll build them again. You might have to pay a little more down the road, but don't rush into it. Okay. Next day or 2, whoever you decide you want to go with. Okay. We want this model. Boom, boom, boom. Try to talk to a lender first. Some lenders they don't do that. Some lenders let you do the offer first, which is whatever. If they do that, that is what it is. But talk to the lender first. Just make sure you qualify for the incentives or whatever. And then of course you do the offer. The offer is going to be not in the Arizona, like for example, here in Arizona, Builders use their own contracts. You're not going to use the standard contracts here. Like here in Arizona, the real estate purchase contract is very buyer protected. It protects the buyer heavily. 10-day inspection period, appraisal contingency, HOA contingency. Literally, you can cancel if you get a loan denial, as long as it's not 3 days before close of escrow, you're going to be good. You can cancel and keep your earnest deposit. The builders contracts, guess who they're protecting? They're not protecting you. They're protecting themselves. So it is their game. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. But obviously make sure that contract has the incentives that they're offering you. I had some clients of mine that got like a freaking crazy, like 3% something rate on there, or 4%, and like insane incentives and any additional concessions they use off the price. So all kinds of crazy stuff. Just make sure it's very clearly on the contract. And then once you're there, you're signed, and dude, you're good. You're good to go. So really, I guess let me think about some last minute things. If you're doing the when you're asking an additional question, when you're doing a new builder inventory, are they negotiable? So maybe ask that to right here. Are you guys negotiable? Because a lot of them like have a manager where they have to ask. So it's like if it's listed for 390, yeah, okay, would you guys, when you're already on the offer stage, hey, would you guys take 385 or 380, or would you guys give us more concessions? They're usually gonna say, we'll ask the manager, we'll see what they say. So other than that, I'm sure I'm gonna come up with something as soon as I'm editing. I'm like, crap, I forgot. But really, if you want to just like boil it down, make this really simple, is always before you have a conversation with any builder, remember these three. These are the important ones. I'm going to highlight, so important. I'm going to highlight it in green. And then if you are going to listen to anything here, really, I think this is the most important part. Like go in there with, is available? Is there incentives? Is it negotiable? Can we look at the actual home? And you might not think that never take the water bottle thing is. That's just more about the mindset that we're in. Because those builders, they're gonna try to be your friend. Like when you're walking with a salesperson, when you're having the superintendent walk you for the final walkthrough, they're gonna feel very friendly. And the problem with that is we don't want to inconvenience our friends. So you might not want to ask the superintendent, can you please fix this little freaking speck on the wall? No, when you're walking through the house, you need to freaking pick out everything you don't like, because that is their job, to deliver a perfect house. You want them to be rolling their eyes at you like, oh my God, like whatever. They're not your friend. They don't work for you. They work for the builder. Even if we can go have beers after this is done, but I need them to deliver an excellent product. And usually the realtor will not be calling things out, because every agent has different expectations of what needs to be done. And it's up to you to really be there, and the agent can have your back, like, hey, why is this done? Or, maybe take notes as you guys are calling things out and stuff like that. Okay. So I'm going to have this PDF available if you want it. Just, I don't know what I'm going to find a way to put it on the summary or the description or something, but yeah, I think that's about it. Anyone, if you already bought a house, or if you're in the process and you learn a new tip, please leave it in the comments below. I would love to hear how the experience went, or if anything went, or if you never take the water bottle, hashtag never take the water bottle. If you're looking for a real estate agent in the Phoenix, Arizona area, East Valley, West Valley, I would love to be your guy. My contact information is below. We also have a pretty excellent agent referral system with Home and Money. homeandmoney.com/Javier. You go, you click it, you fill out information about what you're looking for. You'll get connected with an amazing agent. And if you're interested in some digital resources, they're for sale as well, $5. Go check them out. It's just really simple stuff that you can, calculators and helpers and whatnot. So thank you guys so much for your time. See you in the next video, okay? Ciao. Don't take the water bottle.